Hey, I'm S-Curb, and I'm here to talk about Henry Stickmin. Completing the mission has 16 endings, holy shit! And they're based on a combination of 2 ranks from infiltrating the airship and fleeing the complex. But that got me thinking, what about the ranks from stealing the diamond and escaping the prison? Now I know they don't really matter in the grand scheme of things because each rank achieves the same basic goal of either escaping the prison or stealing the diamond. Wow, it's almost like they're the name of the game. But today we're gonna throw that thought process out of the window because I really need to kill some time. Also, disclaimer, I'm not a professional in story writing, so if any of the points I make throughout this video sound really fucking stupid, it probably is really fucking stupid. To start the video off, we're going to be analyzing the contents of the first 4 games ranks, taking note of anything we can use to link the endings together, and then using the information from infiltrating the airship and fleeing the complex ranks to eliminate any endings associated with those ranks. Hopefully, we'll only have to deal with a handful of endings after doing that. Right? Starting with escaping the prison, it has 3 ranks: Lawyered Up, Badass Bust Out, and Sneaky Escapist. In Lawyered Up, Henry is declared not guilty for attempting to rob the bank with the argument that he could not possibly have tied the bag on the outside of the bag. Except he totally did. Winston is arrested in his place under the false claims of attempting to kill Henry. In Badass Bust Out, Henry busts himself out of prison, Matrix style. I mean, look at this shit. How are you even supposed to do that in real life? And also, the credit song during this rank is called Gangsta for Life. Keep note of that. It's gonna be very important. In Sneaky Escapist, Henry sneaks out undetected. Okay, that's just the first card. But after that, he's never seen again. Those are just the first 2 cards from the intro. They don't count. Because after that, he's never seen again.
Hey, he's escaping.
You ever think that the beginning of Badass Bust Out and Sneaky Escapist were swapped on accident? Stealing the diamond has 3 ranks: Just Plain Epic, Unseen Burglar, and Intruder on a Scooter. In Just Plain Epic, we see Dave. He got fired because there was something in the cake that we used to escape. This is also the very first appearance of the Center for Chaos Containment, or the CCC for short. And they cause Henry to abandon the diamond because why would you try stealing a diamond where there's a giant death robot destroying the museum? Unseen Burglar has the very first successful use of the teleporter. It also has the first Captain Falcon reference with the Falcon Punch.
Falcon Punch!
Both this rank and Intruder on a Scooter, we see Ted McAdams telling Jacob Rose over here about how Henry got caught trying to rob the bank.
And after that, they just up and arrested him.
Whoa, really?
Yeah, that's when I decided I should probably get a different job. I figured night guarding is much less dangerous than driving a... crap.
And the rank ends with Henry stealing the diamond without being noticed. Intruder on a Scooter contains the first appearance of Henry's motorized scooters, and it teaches us about physics! The rank ends with Henry pushing the diamond off the cliff to avoid getting shot by the police officer. Although the police officers did see his face, so it's kind of public attention in this rank. You probably noticed a pattern with these first 2 games. They have an aggressive, sneaky, and unique way of achieving the goal of the game. I will be using this information a lot. Moving on to infiltrating the airship, we have 4 ranks instead of the usual 3. We have government-supported private investigator, relentless bounty hunter, rapidly promoted executive, and pure-blooded thief. In government-supported private investigator, we team up with our boy Charles. We also see that Winston has joined up with the Top Hat clan after getting arrested. We also have our second Captain Falcon reference.
Falcon!
And the route ends with Henry getting pardoned by the government after stealing some evidence that the Top Hat clan are criminals. In relentless bounty hunter and rapidly promoted executive, because they're both part of the same rank, Henry directly attacks the airship in an attempt to capture the Top Hat clan leader. While doing this, he defeats the right-hand man, not kills, because he comes back later with robots attached to his remaining body. The route can end in two different ways. Either Henry gives up the Top Hat clan leader to the government and gets pardoned, or he abandons the government and becomes the new Top Hat clan leader. Good job! I hope you don't lose that position. In Pure Blood Thief, Henry goes rogue halfway through the mission and steals the Top Hat clan's ruby. This route also contains the second appearance of the CCC in the entire series. In the end, Henry steals the ruby while leaving the government annoyed and the airship destroyed. In Fleeing the Complex, there are 5 total endings. Holy shit! Thankfully, I don't have much to say on 3 of the ranks, so let's just get all of them in one take in this lightning round. In Ghost Inmate, Henry abandons Ellie, you fucking dickhead. In Presumed Dead, Henry attempts to escape aggressively, but it goes horribly wrong, and he has to fake his death to escape safely. And in International Rescue Operative, Henry calls Charles to help him escape the wall.
This is the greatest plan.
In Convict Allies, Henry teams up with Ellie to escape the wall, while in the process releasing a bunch of criminals starting a huge riot. And this riot gives us a minor appearance of the CCC. I say minor because he's literally just sitting in the corner, not even trying to contain all this chaos. This is also the 3rd Captain Falcon reference.
You win! Perfect.
And the rank ends with Ellie and Henry escaping on a motorcycle. I'm keeping that take in. And finally, in The Betrayed, Henry calls the Top Hats to help him escape the wall, and the ringtone here is called Top Hat for Life. Wow, what does that remind me of?
Yes, hello?
The ending of this route has Henry use his scooter to attempt to get back on the airship. Luckily, the Top Hat leader is there to catch him, only for the leader to throw Henry off to the sea and leave him to die. Alright, now that we've talked about all the ranks from the first 4 games, let's eliminate some endings using Infiltrating the Airship and Fleeing the Complex ranks. A side note, not everything I say in this section is guaranteed to stay that way, so if I say something later in the video that contradicts this section, please don't get mad at me. As we discussed earlier, government-supported private investigator has Winston with the Top Hats, and it really only makes sense for him to be with the Top Hats if he was a criminal, and the only rank where he is guaranteed to be arrested is Lawyered Up. So it would make sense that Lawyered Up would be part of all 4 endings that are part of government-supported private investigator. Also, during Just Plain Epic, Dave tells his partner about how Henry used something in the cake to escape, and I don't really consider using a phone to get a retrial as escaping. So we're gonna try our best to not have Lawyered Up and Just Plain Epic as a combination. Also, on the topic of Just Plain Epic, the chaos at the museum causes one of the CCC branches to intervene and to contain said chaos. And in my opinion, it just makes the most sense for any ending that involves the CCC at any point to be connected to Just Plain Epic. It just feels right to me. And finally, in The Betrayed, when Henry calls the former Top Hat leader, the ringtone is a song called Top Hat for Life. It is a chiptune version of the song from the end of Badass Bust Out called Gangsta for Life. And one can assume that when Henry became the leader of the Top Hat clan, at some point he created this chiptune version of the song for the Top Hats to use as a ringtone. So now, with all this information, we can completely ignore the following endings: Top Hat King and Top Hat for Life. Son of a bitch, I only eliminated 2. Starting with Clean 'em Out, this ending has Henry sneak his way onto the Top Hat's caravan and stealing all of their valuables without being seen. With this information, it makes the most sense for Unseen Burglar to be part of this ending. In Triple Threat, Henry teams up with both Charles and Ellie to stop the Top Hats from launching their space station into orbit. They don't exactly stop it from launching, but they do change the route so that it lands in the maximum security section of the wall from the last game. A plan that crazy just fits in the best with Intruder on a Scooter to me. I mean, if you were trying to steal a diamond that's worth $112 million, I would probably want to use something a little bit better than a scooter. Moving on to the Depression ending, Henry and Charles decide to take down the Top Hat clan and their orbital station with a government prototype spaceship.
I'm the bold action man. Warning. Critical damage to core. Please evacuate immediately.
I've always wanted to do that.
It ultimately ends with Charles sacrificing himself and blowing up the station. Now, in order to get this ending, we actually have to get Presumed Dead, which is Fleeing the Complex's aggressive ending. And with this information, it would make the most sense for this ending to have an intruder on a scooter, which was called the aggressive way in the original Flash version of Stealing the Diamond. Now, Special Brovert Ops is actually basically the same as Triple Threat, but without Ellie and the rocket doesn't launch. This time, they actually lock it up. At the very beginning of this route, we see an option called Cupcake, where you eat a cupcake. This is very similar to the cheese fail in Stealing the Diamond, where you eat cheese. In Jewel Baron, Henry attempts to steal the Top Hat's emerald on their orbital station, and he succeeds, while also completely obliterating the fucking station. Unfortunately, I really couldn't find anything that could lead me to a specific ending in escaping the prison. I really was hoping that there was something in the teleporter sequence that could help me, but there's just nothing. So, I'm gonna be using Sneaky Escapist as a default, and for Stealing the Diamond, I'll use Unseen Burglar as a default as well. I'm really sorry that this was not as interesting as the others. Hopefully for this ending, I can actually find something to work with. I mean, it's 2 endings in 1. Surely I got something. Yeah, I got bad news. There's nothing in this ending that I can find. So, you know what I'm gonna do. Alright, it's time to tackle my favorite ending in completing the mission, Stickmin Space Resort. This one's pretty simple. Henry steals Top Hat's rocket and turns it into a space resort. In this ending, one of the fails has Henry attempt to break through the main door of the rocket using a battering ram, but he's stopped by our good old friend Physics. This is pretty similar to the bucket fail in Stealing the Diamond, where, you know, physics. During the hammer part, the correct option is hammer. Duh! This is where Henry hits a bullet that shot him right back at the Top Hat sniper, very similar to how he caught a bullet and threw it back at the prison guard during Badass Bust Out. Alright, Free Man, the first one with no predetermined ranks. You could argue that the same could be said about the Stickmin Space Resort ending, but I just wanted an excuse to talk more about my favorite ending. Anyway, this one has Henry being captured by the right-hand man, and it ends with Henry escaping, while also taking out the station's generator, leaving all the Top Hats stranded on space. In space. Henry's method of breaking himself out is one of the most aggressive in the entire collection, so naturally, I'm going with Badass Bust Out and Intruder on a Scooter, the aggressive endings. Alright, Capital Games, the shortest Ellie route that's actually fucking good. In this route, Henry and Ellie attack the Top Hat's caravan to steal the train cart with all the money in it. They succeed, while also killing Right-Hand Man in the process. And how do they do it? Why, with the first ever successful Captain Falcon reference.
Happy Feet!
Stickmin! And with this, Unseen Burglar is an obvious choice. Oh, and also, Badass Bust Out, because lol brawl reference. Little Nest Egg is basically the same as Capital Gains, but without Ellie helping us, and without the right-hand man attempting to stop us. And because of that, I have nothing to work with. Not even the Undertale segment. I can't even go with the previous game having an RPG segment, because that was part of Infiltrating the Airship. It's why the right-hand man has cybernetic enhancements. Ah! Alright, our last Charles ending. In this one, Henry is sent to the Top Hat launch base to capture the right-hand man, and he succeeds, and decides to become a master bounty hunter. But now, the route starts with us attempting to be sneaky, but it doesn't exactly work out as the right-hand man just kind of spots us. I'd like to imagine that in escaping the prison and stealing the diamond, Henry got the aggressive endings, and this is his first time trying to be sneaky, so he just fucks it up because he has no experience in being sneaky. I mean, an international rescue operative, Henry attempts to sneak out of the cafeteria only to be spotted by one of the guards. All right, we're on a roll here. So what's our next ending? Shit! In the worst ending in the fucking series, Henry gets dethroned from his position as the leader of the Top Hat clan. Henry's a total dick in this route, and I'm gonna just go with Intruder on a Scooter because he makes Ted regret his position as a night guard. Fuck, this ending sucks ass. And finally, we have Revenged. In this route, Henry absolutely destroys the Top Hat clan before they even launch their rocket. And it unfortunately ends with our main hero dying. Now, in this ending, I want Henry's death to be the best possible outcome for him. Because in order to get this ending, you have to betray the government and then get betrayed by the Top Hat clan. And in my opinion, the aggressive endings from escaping the prison and stealing the diamond just make the most sense in my opinion. I mean, Henry had this golden opportunity to get these charges lifted from him, and he ignored them. Alright, we're at the end. So now let's look at our chart to see what we can learn about this whole process. The most used rank I've used was Badass Bust Out and Just Plain Epic, while our least used ending was Lure It Up and Unseen Burglar. Yeah, that's basically just it. But thanks for watching this shit show to the very end. If you have your own opinions on which endings I should have used, then, comment section's down there. Bye!